Hi Scorpio, welcome to your love reading for this week. This is a timeless reading, so whenever you come across it is when it's meant for you. Okay Scorpio, let's just get right into it. So we have the Queen of Wands, Page of Cups, Two of Wands, Two of Swords, King of Wands, Death, the Moon, Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so first impressions, just kind of looking at the cards without having tuned into anything yet. I see that the heart of your reading is a King of Wands, which to me it represents leadership, it represents inner fire. And you also, it's interesting that you not only have the King, but you have the Queen as the first card. So that is a strong message. I feel like without really taking the lead and feeling in control of your love life this week, there could be some confusion and some waiting. And I do see that in the Seven of Cups and Two of Wands and even the Moon. Interesting that the Moon is next to Seven of Cups, really emphasizing like confusion. Even the Knight of Pentacles, because it represents things not moving quite as fast as you want them to. So, intriguing message, but let's start from the beginning. So we have the Queen of Wands, and like I said, this is interesting because you also have the King, and they're kind of lined up here with the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like there is a strong message for Scorpio to really kind of feel in control of your love life. And this week, I do see that you have the Page of Cups, and you know this represents like a new person coming into your life. And not every sign that I've done a reading for has had some type of like romance card, not everyone, but you have that card specifically. So I feel like those of you who are single, even those who are in a relationship, love is really important for you this week. I feel like for those who are single, they're really, I'm getting the message that there is like someone new that you could meet this week. I feel like they're emphasizing there's a person who's lined up for you to come in. There's someone who's lined up to come into your life, but this really kind of requires more positive energy on your behalf, more enthusiasm. So if you're kind of down in the dumps and just kind of really confused as far as like, do I even want to work on my love life right now? Do I really want to meet anybody? I feel like you could potentially like stall a relationship, a fulfilling relationship, because you do have the Two of Wands. And that is kind of a card that would represent stalling things. It is a card of waiting, it is a card of delays, but it doesn't have to be that way. The Queen of Wands would not put up with any kind of delay, any obstacle in her path. So I feel like you have to be kind of really strong and really passionate, especially those who are single. I feel like your frame of mind, your energy, your enthusiasm really kind of determines like what happens in your love life this week. I feel like there is a person that you can meet, a romantic interest, who's lined up for you, but you can't be down in the dumps. You can't be confused about what you want from love. You have to really know what you want, know yourself, and the person is there. I'm even kind of getting, you know, for couples, and this has come up for other signs as well, that you might have to be the one who's like really positive in a relationship in order to bring the relationship back to life, you know. And the Page of Cups could represent a new love or rekindling an old relationship. So I feel like somewhere where you're not in a really kind of positive place, there are issues, there are problems, and I do see confusion in this reading. I feel like someone has to be the strong one for the other partner. Otherwise, I feel like this could, whatever problems that you're having, they could drag out, past this week into the next. I feel like someone has to be like very, like understanding, but also strong for the other partner. Okay, so moving on to the next row, you have the Two of Swords, the King of Wands, and Death. So again, the Two of Swords, this represents sometimes like hitting a dead end. And I forgot to include it with the cards about delays. The Two of Wands, the Two of Swords, these two cards are kind of similar because they represent sometimes things not really moving forward as fast as you want them to. And I feel like for some of you, you have a choice to make when it comes to your love life. The Two of Swords is about being like really stubborn and refusing to take action on something, or refusing to change your mind about something, or refusing to make a decision. I feel like the stakes are high this week. You do have the Death card, which represents a huge transformation in your life. So I do feel like for some of you, the transformation could be that you finally are in a committed relationship, but not if you're kind of being wishy-washy, or you're confused about who you're looking for, or you're confused about a relationship. I feel like you have to be, again, very strong. The heart of the reading is the King of Wands. You have to be very optimistic. I also feel, I'm seeing looking at what's going down the side of the reading here. I feel like someone in a relationship is, it could be a woman who's a fire sign or a man who's a fire sign. I feel like someone is being like really kind of stubborn. That's the energy of the Two of Swords, being really stubborn, refusing to even believe that there is a problem in a relationship. Kind of saying that everything is fine, everything is fine. But clearly, like, something is not fine. And it could be for those who are single. I'm getting even for those who are single, you might be refusing to really admit that maybe you have a problem trusting, that you need to heal something from a past relationship or from your childhood. And I feel like those who are in denial and saying that everything is fine, this will create, a delay, and you will still, be in this energy of confusion, when really there is love that is waiting for you, something that could potentially change your life. Yeah, and I forgot, I've already mentioned this, because when I do these readings, that my guides come in, so I kind of forget like what I say. But I feel like, for couples, it could be as well that someone's refusing to admit that there's a problem. Someone is refusing to admit that maybe there's something unhealthy in a relationship. And the other partner, again, has to be the strong one to point things out that this is not right. Or to kind of maybe even point out like what unhealthy energies are around your partner. Again, there is a huge transformation here, but I also feel like the Death card for couples, it could also represent the death of negative thoughts, negative behavior patterns. I feel like there's something I feel like for Scorpio, there's something kind of unhealthy, either in the way that you're thinking or in the way your partner's thinking. There's some type of like, something has to be let go to make the relationship strong again. Now, moving on to the bottom row, you have the Moon, the Seven of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. So the Moon, you know, it represents confusion. And it's interesting because it's next to the Seven of Cups, which also represents confusion. The Moon also represents, you know, fears. So I feel like for singles, like you might find yourself like really kind of confused this week, like as far as like pursuing a relationship. There could be someone that comes into your life, but you don't quite know if you can trust them. And for some of you, you know, sometimes this does mean like more than one choice. And I do see a decision here. It could be that there's more than one partner that comes into your life and you're just kind of torn and you don't know who you should be with. You don't know. I feel like you should, those of you that have some type of choice to make as far as like more than one partner, take your time. Usually with the Moon, there's hidden information, something that you don't know. There's something that you don't, you haven't quite, something that hasn't been revealed to you yet. So I feel like those who are, you know, kind of interested in more than one person this week, and I do get the feeling that there may be more than one love interest. Make sure that you really get to know everyone before making a final decision. I kind of get that someone may be really torn because you may really like more than one person, but, you know, you have to choose one, and I feel like it will be difficult, you know. And the Knight of Pentacles is saying that this is, you know, not something that's going to, those of you who are torn over decisions, whether it's, you know, the scenario of more than one couple or those who are in a relationship, it won't be easy to make decisions this week. You really have to take your time and really study things like very carefully, but you are kind of really taking control of the situation, especially if you feel like, those of you who are in a relationship, if you really feel like your couple, well, your partner is not really like doing anything. And that could be the energy of the Two of Swords, because this would be someone that's being very stubborn. The Two of Swords is a card of non-action, and so is the Two of Wands. And even I would say the Seven of Cups. So there's three cards of non-action. And I feel like for some of you, I get a strong message that this could be that your partner is refusing to, either you or your partner is refusing to look at something in the relationship. And it's not really allowing it to heal and move forward. There's a huge transformation here. And this could be that your relationship moves on to a much healthier phase for those of you who are in a relationship. But for those of you who are not, it could be that there's something that you need to look at in your history or in what you look for in romance that you need to look at and examine and make a decision, maybe to let something go in order to find, in order to really connect with this partner that is waiting for you. Okay, so give me a moment to look this over because I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like I keep like staring at these three cards. Yeah, and I feel like they just really wanted me to like emphasize that for some of you, there is a strong message that, you know, that King of Wands, again, this just means that you're very enthusiastic. There's a lot of positive energy and that you need this week. And it is lined up with that, you know, with your card about love and romance. The Page of Cups, whether it's a new love or an old love, or an existing relationship, you have to be the one in control. You have to be the one who's surrounded by positive energy and positive thinking. Otherwise, I feel like this week has the potential to be like a very confusing and very emotional week for you. But again, not if you are the one who's very take charge and very positive about the relationship and looking at it in a positive way. Remember that you not only have the king, but you also have the queen. And I kind of feel that with that message that they're telling you that you have to help your partner to maybe be in a much more positive place. All right, Scorpio, I will end this reading here. I hope you enjoyed it. Take care, much love, and bless. Bye-bye.